the
Yeah,
way
let's take a
through
look.
the season. Yes.
Let's take a quick look. As you said, Stefan Mott, like the 2024 Sacramento Regional Top 16, which is incredible on its own, of course. 2023 OCIC Top 32, the 2022 Indianapolis Regional Champion, and the 2022 Liverpool Regional Top 8. Quite a few accolades there, and like most people will have heard, or at least of the name Stefan Mott. And the team itself looks quite like an interesting team because we have the return of Golden Go screens.
Yes, I'm actually very glad to see Grimsnarl and Goldengo still being able to be played in this regulation, because now that Alolan Ninetales is here, I have seen a lot of Alolan Ninetales with Aurora Hail running around. Thing is, for that, of course, you do need the Hail, which is not a bad thing, but personally, I'm a fan of Grimsnarl. Even though I myself don't play it that much, I totally understand why it was so popular in Regulation D and also C, and I'm very excited to have it show up here as well.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing, of course, with Ninetales, because you have a lot of tornadoes running around with Sunny Day and Rain Dance. Even they're able to stop that immediately, but Grimstar is just able to put up those screens nice and correctly, one at a time, but still quite nicely. And something we've seen a lot of times as well is Ogerpon and Rillaboom. It is so strong to see Ogerpon being boosted by Grassy Terrain. This time not going for Grassy Glide on this Ogerpon, but rather Horn Leech, just for a bit more damage, and of course a bit of that does have Grassy Glide. I absolutely skipped over that, but Horn Leech as well to like have a bit more of that recovery together with the Grassy Surge, extra healing.
Yeah, no, it's fair to assume that, Ogerpon usually only runs one grass-type move, because the last move you usually see on Ogerpon can be something like a Swords Dance or a Follow Me, but Stefan here opting to go for both Horn Leech and Grassy Glide, and in my opinion, that just makes so much sense, because with Grassy Glide, yeah, you get the priority from Rillaboom, but you need to bring the Rillaboom with you, and when you don't have Grassy Terrain, then that Grassy Glide is just a weak grass type move, and when you have the Horn Leech, you have a strong grass move, which even gives you some recovery, but you don't benefit from you don't gain priority from the Grassy Terrain. But Stefan's saying, hey, I'll just play both, so I have whatever I need when I need it.
Exactly, it's a good option to have, and like you have a lot of teams that tend to run Rillaboom as well, so sometimes you might be using their Grassy Terrain as well. And like just looking at the team was amazing on its own already, as all the bulky Pokemon. But what has Patrick Donegan brought? Now, first, 2023 Worlds Day 2 in 2018, the Prague Special Event Top 8. He was able to get 2015 the Boston Open finalist, and in 2012 Philadelphia Regional Top 8. Quite a few years between them, but that showcases the age. Like, it's like a fine wine. VGC trainers just get better and better every year, as we have Ogerpon, Dusclops, Dragonite, Ironhands, Chi-Yu, and Ursaluna Blood Moon version as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Ursaluna make an appearance here. I'll admit, I was not that big of a fan of the regular Ursaluna that we did see do very well in Regulation D, but personally, I never really got used to it. But this new Ursaluna, the Blood Moon type, I think is just so much more dangerous. Also being unaffected by something like Intimidates from Landorus, and that Blood Moon just being to nuke pretty much anything that comes into its path is just so strong, and it's only fair that Blood Moon, is a move that you can only use every second turn, and not just imagine you could use Blood Moon just 3 times in a row. That would be completely broken. So I'm glad it has that one drawback.
Yes, absolutely. As we do have Dusclops as well. Dusclops is being one of those Pokemon that has made its return in the DLC. One of those Pokemon that was great in previous format as well, with Dynamax being around and with Eviler just having that enormous staying power, and now without Dynamax, still proving to be worth something with Willow support and Break to make sure that no screens will be set up, but also to activate a weakness policy on this Ursaluna to just make sure that everything that's down in its path will go down.
Yeah, this break here, usually there to activate that weakness policy as you just mentioned, but in this case could also be very useful to break through those screens set up by the Grimmsnarl potentially. And before we get into this game, I do want to want to focus on this Dragonite for just a second.
Wait, I didn't even see that!
It's running not only Choice Band, which is typical, but also Surf, which is usually the special attacking move.
Wow.
Maybe we'll see some Surf in combination with this Ogerpon and the Water Absorb. Who knows?
Okay, this Dragonite is showing he's one of the cool kids surfing around with all around, and just an amazing team to see with the potential Trick Room option, but then just the nice offensive pressure with Chiyu, Dragonite, Iron Hands with the Fake Out support, and then even Ogerpon to follow me to redirect. So looking forward to this manager match. So let's take a look what these players will be doing, as we do have the Dragonite and the Chiyu coming out, two very offensive threats right from the get-go, as Golden Go and the Urshifu, wow, I wanted to say Ursaluna, Urshifu come out as well.
Yeah, Urshifu, Goldengo here. Immediately, dealing a lot of pressure here to Patrick's side. Just because, Goldengo does need to set up that Nasty Plot, and of course it is facing that Chiyu. But if Chiyu stays in, goes for a fire move into the Goldengo, then Urshifu can go for a water move into Chiyu. Then again, Dragonite can go for a flying move into Urshifu, and Goldengo, of course, still has the option to go for a Terra Dragon to resist any potential fire moves. So there's a lot that can happen in this first turn right now.
Yeah, exactly. When you're faced off against two Pokemon with choice items, you are definitely having to make the dangerous... you don't want to make any dangerous mistakes here, because of course the Terra can always activate, because that is something you're not certain of if something is super effective, as the Chiyu is going for that Terra Ghost, meaning it will no longer be weak to any sort of water moves from this Urshifu, but this Goldengo will be able to, for example, go for a Heat Wave instead, as the Goldengo does go for the Protect, and Urshifu as well, just counting out. That is the perfect strategy, of course, because you want to see if they go for an early Terra and what they lock themselves into as well.
Yeah, I think this is a very fair double Protect in the first turn, seeing if, Chiyu will... First of all, seeing if Chiyu stays in, what move will it lock itself into, and Dragonite locking itself into Aerial Ace here. So now that this Chiyu is Terra Ghost, it might be able to survive something like a Surging Strike, although I'm not too sure about that. But it is also weak to Shadow Balls from Goldengo here. But then again, Goldengo, as long as it is still a Steel type, has to fear both the Fire move and, of course, as a Ghost type, also any potential Dark type moves. And this Urshifu is playing Mystic Water, so not the Focus Sash variant we have seen a little bit of today. So, a Choice Band Aerial Ace might be able to enough to knock it out if it stays fighting move.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that you have to kind of decide what to do here. As you see, Patrick is really thinking this through, because now is an important moment to decide what to do. As Stefan is now deciding to Terra as well. It will be that goal to go for that Terra Dragon, making sure that no Heat Wave will be able to hit it super effectively. Now, an aerial ace from this Dragon will still hurt if it's Choice Banner, of course, but let's see if Patrick adapted here. We do have the Heat Wave coming out, doing quite a bit of damage to both of them, but not overly too much, as the Goldengo goes for a cheeky little Nasty Plot there, as well as the Surging Strike is going right into that Chiyu, doing quite a bit of damage thanks to that Mystic Water there. And the Chiyu does look like to be completely in range for this huge KO that this Urshifu just brought to the field.
Yeah, Chiyu going down there with the Terra on Patrick's side, so he will not be able to terrestrialize any of his other Pokemon this game. And Goldengo, having set up that Nasty Plot now, is at +2 special attack, but it is being brought down to just a very, very little amount of health by this Aerial Ace from the Dragonite. And right now, Stefan does not have any form of speed control on his side, and this Goldengo is not really the fastest Pokemon out there. So, but Patrick, on the other hand, then, the Pokemon he might have in the back could be very slow, but this Dragonite is still going to be able to outspeed the Goldengo.
Yes, exactly. We have seen that the Goldengo was faster with the Nasty Plot, of course, than the Dragonite this turn, which is able to just go for a powerful Make It Rain or possibly Shadow Ball into the Dusclops here. So we might be able to see what this Goldengo wants to decide to do. A Protect is also a possibility, of course, but this Dusclops does threaten with a possible Trick Room, and if you get a Trick Room against you with like a team where your Goldengo is faster, you rather not really want that right now. So dealing with the Dusclops might be key right now to do as much damage as possible, as that does look like what Stefan is deciding here to do. Patrick a bit on the back foot here, deciding what to do, as the Make It Rain does come out on both these Pokemon. Both Pokemon surviving, despite the Goldugo being at +2.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Goldengo is faster in the Dragonite, and so is this Urshifu, which will be able to knock out the Dragonite before it KOs either of these Pokemon. But Dusclops here now does have potential to go for something like a Trick Room, which it will do, so Patrick might still have an Ursaluna in the back ready to just go ham on Stefan's team here, which has already taken a little bit of damage, but of course he does still have two very healthy Pokemon in the back as well.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. As the Ursaluna is now in a prime position, really, to just threaten a lot of damage right now, with the Dusclops next to it, of course. Able to help that, but Stefan already quite pivoting quite nicely around the earlier setup with the Chiyu and the Dragonite, so maybe here having a perfect plan here in the back, as the Goldugo does just go for a Protect right now, making sure, you know what, one turn, don't touch me. As the Aqua Jet is actually going into that Ursaluna, doing a bit of damage there as well. Weakness Policy activated. Maybe this Dusclops will be breaking this Ursaluna as well, doing a bit more damage. Hey, you never know, might even crit. Bringing this Ursaluna quite low as well. This Ursaluna is now very powerful, but very low, so very prone to be hit by any sort of by any sort of priority move.
Stefan deciding that, yeah, this Dusclops is probably going to go for a Brick Break into this Ursaluna anyway, so Weakness Policy is going to be activated anyway, and might as well get some damage here from this Aqua Jet, and he does have both Rillaboom and Ogerpon in the back, and they both are running Grassy Glide. You know, you can set up a Trick Room, but that's not going to help you if your opponent's moves have priority, and that is one thing that both Ursaluna forms are missing, is priority.
Yep, exactly. You do have the potential to have like Vacuum Weave on your Ursaluna, which has a respectable special attack stat, as Ursaluna is just going for a Protect here, trying to make sure to try and make this Rillaboom a little bit weaker with the potential Will-O-Wisp right now. Potentially, if the Ursaluna is enormously bulky, but it taking that much damage from an Aqua Jet from this Ursaluna earlier, I doubt if it is able to survive a Grassy Glide as well. You do have a little bit of recovery with that Grassy Terrain, but the Grassy Terrain then again boosting that Grassy Glide, as the Goldugo is just free to go for a Shadow Ball onto that Dusclops slot.
Yeah, that Dusclops not being able to do much in this situation aside from going for a Will-O-Wisp, which of course is going to have the Rillaboom's attack, but you know, at the range that this Ursaluna is sitting, I'm not sure it's going to be able to take a Grassy Glide from this Rillaboom, and even if it does, it still has to deal with that Ogerpon in the back, which of course also gets Grassy Glide, and you know, Grassy Terrain is going to be around longer than the Trick Room in this situation, and Grassy Glide actually not doing that much at all.
Okay.
It's surprisingly well, and now I'm actually curious to see how much this Hyper Voice is going to do to this Assault Vest Rillaboom. Does a respectable amount at full HP, you know, might be a 2-hit KO, although, you know, with the Grassy Terrain recovery could be a little bit of a roll as well. But yeah, I think this game at this point is decided for Stefan, and I think Patrick is going to have to already start thinking about his plan in game 2.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have some more information, of course, leading to choice item Pokemon, and your opponent having both Protect on both Pokemon does put you in a kind of a difficult situation. Hyper Voice coming out into the Goldugo and the Rillaboom, making sure that that is dealt with. Now, there was always the potential of course, the Ogerpon now not being in the back, and for, say, for example, Landorus being in the back, but Stefan was well prepared here for a potential late Ursaluna trying to set up oh no, never mind, the Twisted Dimensions return to normal. Never mind, this bear is very slow, so very much not able to take anything what this Ogerpon might be throwing at it right now.
Yeah, as we said before, this Ogre Pawn, even without the Trick Room, it would have been able to just go for a priority attack. And you cannot stall out the grassy terrain in the situation without stalling out the Trick Room. And of course, as we see now, Stefan is just going to go for a Horn Leech since he will be the fastest Pokemon on the field anyway. Going to be able to knock out this Ursaluna. And yeah, as you mentioned, for Patrick, leading to choice Pokemon into a team where, you know, your opponent can easily go for a double protect and see, you know, what you lock yourself into, and then, you know, kind of limiting your options in that second turn right away. And I believe our game 2 is ready to go. So we are going to see Ogre Pawn Chi-Yu lead this time for Patrick versus the classic Goldengo and, of course, the Grimmsnarl. It is back.
It is back, baby. Now, Chi-Yu does have the potential, of course, to go just for a Dark Pulse, which will absolutely deal tremendous amount of damage still. Grimmsnarl is, of course, able to put up any sort of light screen, but a good switch by Patrick there, going for Ogre Pawn Chi-Yu, giving you the potential to just choose what you want to do, because you're hitting on both the physical side and on a bit more on the special side as well with both of these Pokemon. You do not want to take any of these moves. You could also just focus in onto the Grimmsnarl right now, because of course the Goldengo has potential to just scout out again what this Chi-Yu might be willing to do right now, as the Grimmsnarl is just able to set up any sort of reflect or light screen, as we do have the protect from the Goldengo this time around.
Yeah, Goldengo going for Protect, and Grimmsnarl, of course, setting up that light screen to take some moves from this Chi-Yu a little bit better. It is going to lock itself into that Dark Pulse, into the Goldengo slot, but since it did go for the Protect, no damage this turn. Ivy Cuddle is going to get a critical hit. It's going to do about 6% with no critical in that turn. But yeah, Patrick really respecting that Urshifu lead that Stefan, of course, brought in the first game, and now having that Ogre Pawn by his side to maybe help him out a little bit in that regard. And of course, this Ogre Pawn is playing Follow Me, which means it will be able to redirect any Surging Strikes, any Grassy Glides to potentially support its team a little bit better. So gonna be interesting to see how much this Ogre Pawn is going to be able to take before it goes down. Of course, this Goldengo has not set up a nasty plot yet, so, you know, not going to be able to do much against both this Chi-Yu and Ogre Pawn.
Exactly. Goldengo not really being in the prime position right now, because of course you do have that Terra Dragon that you can go for, and you do resist the Ogre Pawn. Not really resisting whatever the Chi-Yu is doing, but we do have the Chi-Yu switching out there for the Dusclops instead. Just wanted to make sure that Stefan was probably going to switch out, because he did not want to take any sort of move like a Dark Pulse probability, as the Urshifu is switching in with the Spike Shield going up. So Grimmsnarl just really able to just enjoy the field on its own really and put up a Reflect.
Yeah, Reflect now being set up for Stefan means he has both screens up for another 7 turns at least, and the Urshifu coming in here, actually, I mean, I get the switch from the Goldengo, because you realize, you know, you're not going to do much with, you know, the Chi-Yu standing there, and also the Ogre Pawn, you cannot really spam Make It Rains, but Urshifu also not that great versus the Ogre Pawn, and it is going to switch right back out into that Goldengo once again. Now that the Chi-Yu is gone, you know, might be able to set up a little bit better. Thunder Wave going into this Dusclops, so hoping to maybe catch a full paralysis to prevent the Trick Room. Horn Leech going into this Goldengo, which was the Urshifu, of course, not going to do a lot. No full para means Trick Room is going up.
Yep, Trick Room being up is quite nice here. And of course, this Dusclops does carry the hands of God, as he is able to break some bricks there with the Reflect and Light Screen, being able to remove them in that regard. Ogre Pawn not really threatening Goldengo if it goes for a Terra, of course. Dusclops is able to go for again a brick break onto the left slot, so maybe a wise decision there to go for that early Trick Room, because expecting maybe a Thunder Wave onto the Ogre Pawn this time around, because of course after Grimmsnarl has done its Light Screen, its Reflect, most of the time it goes for its Thunder Wave, so might not have been a bad decision at all to do that right now.
I think that was a very, very fair play, but you know, the Trick Room is up now, and as you just mentioned, the Dusclops could go for a brick break into his into the Grimmsnarl, of course, but it is going to be fully paralyzed, so no moves from it this turn. Spirit Break going into the Ogerpon does a respectable amount of damage, coming from a support Pokemon. Special attack drop, not gonna matter that much, but Goldango decides to set up the nasty plot. So, even though it is in Trick Room, not feeling too threatened with the screen still up. Ivy Cudgel here, oh yeah, the screens here really coming through strong, and of course with the leftovers recovery. Goldango still sitting here very pretty, and this Dusclops, of course, having, Brick Break, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, and of course Trick Room cannot do anything to this Goldango right now.
Yeah, this Goldango really being able to just plot some nasties in front of this Dusclops. So in Patrick's situation, you have to decide if you're able to make a certain switch here. Reflect is something that is quite annoying, of course, for this Ogerpon to deal with. But Ivy Cudgel is, of course, a move that has a huge chance to, huge chance. Always has a chance to critical hit, of course, as well with the increased chance for that. So just being able to go through screens, hit this Ogerpon with a very loud bonk sound could always be nice here. As the Ogerpon actually just going for a follow me, trying to redirect a possible Shadow Ball here from this Goldango really. So Brick Break going off, breaking the Reflect and the Light Screen onto this Grimmsnarl as the Spirit Break into that Ogerpon right now, doing a bit of damage, not KOing it. Of course, special attack drop, but it's mainly physical as the Shadow Ball does come out to the Ogerpon. So Ogerpon deciding, you know what? I'm taking one for the team right now. We have broken the screens. It is time for something else to come in within this Trick Room. And I think I know just the Pokemon that's going to be able to deal some damage.
Yes, of course, Trick Room has already been up for a few turns. So Patrick really on a little bit of a timer here when it comes to this Ursaluna now. But he did manage to get the Brick Break off, meaning that the Light Screen and Reflect on Stefan's side are gone now. So if this Dusclops is not fully parried this turn and manages to get that Brick Break off, this Ursaluna is in a position to deal a lot of damage to both of its opposing Pokemon here. And I really like the way Stefan played the turn so far, because he did realize that, okay, he could go for a double up into the Dusclops, but Patrick has so many options here to go for redirection, and also, could have potentially gone for something like a Terra on the Dusclops. So making sure that Ogerpon is gone, and now maybe trying to stall out the last, I believe it is 2 turns of Trick Room that are still left, and then maybe being able to make a comeback afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. You're being put in kind of a weird position because you can protect with the Goldango still right now, because stall out another turn of Trick Room, which is always nice. And this Goldango that isn't gonna do all that much damage to this Chi-Yu either. We do have the Brick Break coming out, just doing a bit more damage as the Earth Power into that Goldango will not be able to affect it here. As actually the Spirit Break into this Ursaluna will make sure that this Ursaluna will deal a bit less damage with the special attack drop as well. That is, of course, very well played here. Making sure no Hyper Voice was gonna come out. Hyper Voice would not have been KOing Goldango in that regard, and just wanting to make sure that the Goldango left, but Stefan seeing this perfectly and just going for a little bit of a cheeky special attack drop.
I think that was a great play by Stefan there, because he did realize that, he could have gone for another Light Screen here, but, Patrick realizing that, this Grimmsnarl has Prankster. It can go for a Light Screen before I attack. I'm just gonna go for a Brick Break to break that right away. But Stefan calling that, just going for that Spirit Break into the Ursaluna and getting that special attack drop, which could be crucial. That could be game deciding right there, and this Ursaluna is going to switch out.
Yeah, is switching out. Chi-Yu is coming in, meaning Beads of Runes is activated, meaning all the special defense of all Pokemon onto the field is lowered. Goldango just going for a protect here, trying to go for the double here. And the Light Screen is back up onto the field. Now, there's still a Dusclops with hands, as it is gonna be breaking breaks, making sure that the Grimmsnarl is quite low at this moment. So, you do have the potential now. Trick Room is over. You have a Chi-Yu on the field. Do you Terra Dragon the Goldango, knowing that the Chi-Yu will probably Dark Pulse you?
Oh, is a good question. If you're Patrick here, you may have hoped that this Grimmsnarl wouldn't go down to the Brick Break, but it does not, which means it can set up another screen here if it wants to. But if you're the Chi-Yu here, what do you go for? Do you go for that Heat Wave, hoping the Goldango does not go for a Terra and knock out both of these Pokemon? Or do you just go for a Dark Pulse and hope that, this Grimmsnarl, it could set up another light screen, and as you said, we're not in Trick Room anymore, so this is a very, very awkward turn here for both players, and I'm excited to see what buttons they will decide to press.
Exactly, and you also have like the interesting thing about Dark Pulse, which is you can always flinch, of course. That is also part of the deal of that is Dark Pulse, as we do have the Terra activation this time around from Stefan, going for that Golago, going for that Terra Dragon. Now you can put up light screen. You will do quite a bit. So this Golago will be able to make sure that it is not hit super effectively by this Chiyu. Light screen is up. What will this Chiyu do right now? It is going for the Dark Pulse. It is Dark Pulse.
Enough.
Flinch! Get a Trick Room!
Okay, pause. Pause for a second here. What just happened?
Alright. The gods, Arceus smiled down and said, Patrick, I got you for this turn, bro. You need to finish it. Like, you need to rest it. You need to do it yourself, though. Right now, you're being put in a position where Dusclops is able to break yet again, making sure that no screens are on the field. Chiyu, like, screens will not be on the field for this turn if both Pokemon stay in. Chiyu is just able to go for a Dark Pulse onto the Golago. Golago not really able to hit this Chiyu with anything super effectively, or even will let something go down. It can go for the Shadow Ball onto the Dusclops, making sure that the Dusclops at least goes down. But, wow. Patrick, just the Dark Pulse flinch really helped here in this position right now, because Stefan suddenly on kind of in an awkward position now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this Chiyu, is gonna be slower now in Trick Room, but it is gonna switch out into this Ursaluna. So maybe Dusclops trying to get a cheeky Brick Break here, before it's played. This switch, it could also cost Patrick the game if the Goldengo just fires off the powerful Make It Rain, and maybe the combination of Spirit Break and Make It Rain could get a KO. But Terra Dark here from the Dusclops does not want to take a Shadow Ball. Brick Break going into the Ursaluna, as we predicted, is going to activate that weakness policy. So, is Ursaluna going to survive this turn? That is the question I am asking myself right now, because the Goldengo and the Grimmsnarl, both not weak attackers. Spirit Break brings it to under 50%. Special attack being dropped. Make It Rain. Is it going to be enough? It is enough to get that knockout on that Ursaluna. So Patrick going for a very risky switch there, and unfortunately it does not pay off.
Yeah, exactly. So Stefan just deciding there, it is time to Make It Rain. I do not want to Shadow Ball into Terra Dark Dusclops there, which if I was in his position, I would not have been the better player there. I would have definitely Shadow Ball there. But now Trick Room is up. Golago still not able to hit this Chiyu very hard. Dusclops going for it all for a Break onto the Ursaluna. So if it was a position where the Golago went for a switch or even protected, that would have been an absolutely great play, because you've had your Ursaluna, which is now in on the field at least +1, being able to mow down a lot of your competition.
So the Goldengo and Grimmsnarl have been really putting in the works, even against Trick Room. Spirit Break against this Dusclops is now super effective now that it is a Dark type, and Make It Rain is going to be enough to knock it out, doing a little bit of damage to this Chiyu, and it is Chiyu against the world in Trick Room, so not looking great for Patrick here, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. The Dusclops going down there. Chiyu going for the Dark Pulse this time around on the Golago. Assault Chiyu, it is specs, it is quite powerful, but I'm an optimistic guy. Listen, but when you're playing with a Soulfish, when there's a Urshifu, it seems kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah, Urshifu coming back in here. It did, of course, have a short appearance on the field before, but, just switched in and switched right back out. Really just switching in to say hello, like, I am part of this team, by the way, but it is going to